Candace. Thanks for coming to my channel. It's me time. This is About You video podcast. I usually do my podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but today it just felt like coming on here and making a video. I've been practicing some different self-care tips and trying to implement different ways to have different outcomes into my life. And I wanted to share with you because, this healing journey has been about me up until this point. But now, since I've opened it up to sharing my journey with you, I figured that it's moments like these that I should probably take some time and, show you. So yeah, with no further ado, when it comes to self-care, it comes in a lot of different packages that look like a lot of different shapes and colors, and everybody can have different perspectives on them really easily because, as a human, I'm unique, and as a human, you're unique, but yet we're all connected. And it's pretty cool, I think, that through the really hard things that, maybe you and I have in common, there's a lot of beauty that comes through trauma and through hardships. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the self-care on the days that you just need to get through to make it to those beautiful days, if that makes sense. Like the days that I need love a little extra and, a little bit of kindness and self-compassion. And these are, just a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. Navigating different areas of my life with, I really have to balance who I ingest energy from and where I place my energy, because I really have a choice on where my energy goes today, and I choose to put it certain places and I choose not to put it other places. And I feel like that's a really good boundary. Boundaries are huge in my life. I really, really believe that they're a form of self-protection. I believe that the word no is a full sentence. There is no need to explain it. No is no. And, anybody that's arguing or saying or asking why your no is no, I'm pretty sure that when they say no, no means no. No is a really good boundary for me, and it's really, really important. And so is yes, though, too. Yes is the a piece of self-care that I'm learning. It's really hard, but saying yes to things, and yes to experiences, and yes to people, and yes to these different things, because throughout all of this, there's been a lot of brain patterns that have really developed and gotten ingrained, and different ways to cope. But when making new brain patterns, it's standing in front of a huge snow pile, and I don't know how to get through it. So I have my little shovel and I start digging and whatever. And, eventually if I wear that down enough, it'll become a pathway. And that's what I'm trying to do with my brain with healthier things, with reaching out for help when I need help, and recognizing that my family isn't my counselors. My counselors are my counselors. My family is my family, and my friends are my friends. And, allowing myself to be a friend and all the different things that I am in life, a sister, and just all the different roles that I play. Allowing myself the graciousness to be a human has really changed my life. It was a really hard thing to do, but once I knew better and once I knew better, I found a different way. I did better, and I'm not perfect by any means, but the seed was planted. So I had hope to strive to do better, rather than just kind of sitting with where I was at for for a really long time, because spinning my wheels, and mental health is not a joke. It's a really huge, impactful epidemic on this whole species. And it's such a tragedy that we're living in, watching our friends and family around us go through a lot of stuff. But I'm kind of getting into addiction, and now more or less, I'm trying to stay on the topic of self-care today. So back to navigating self-care and healthy brain waves and creating new patterns. When I have a hard feeling come up, or when I have heartache, and you know it's really, really shitty and hard to remember in the moment, but my emotions, they're energy in motion. And if I let that pass through my body, I let my body literally become just a vessel for the energy to come in and out of. And I experience it. I'm here for it, because this is a part of it and it's part of my journey, my life. But I don't hang on to it. I don't have to let it resonate and stay in my body. And sometimes I do, and I really let myself suffer sometimes, because suffering is optional. Pain's inevitable, but suffering is optional when it comes to healing, I believe. And pain is an amazing, like, pivotal milestone for change. It can be. It's all in the choices that I decided to change. And it's pretty cool too, because and doing all of these different little acts of gratitude, and coming from a place of love and compassion for myself and others, rather than a place of self-hate and disgust, I began to really enjoy it. Joy. I found what joy feels like. And it wasn't at first. It did take a lot of work, but I remember when that happened, I would think it was about 6 months sober or so. And like, let me know if you've ever had an experience like this too, because I can't be the only one. But I remember feeling joy for the first time, and it was just such a freeing feeling, because I knew it wasn't going to last, but I knew that, like, there's a lot to live for. And it just really allowed me to be in that moment of joy with with what I was experiencing at the time. And that's a gift. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about, if you've experienced it, or if you have different ways of achieving it and, like, finding your joy. Share in the comments below for others, because we're all in this together, and this is a pretty good place to find connectivity. So, carrying on, powerlessness. I am powerless to people, places, and things, all the nouns that I can think of, and I'm really, really happy for that. And acceptance can suck sometimes. I've really found throughout my life, but, like, once coming through that acceptance, at the end of all of those grief emotions, whether I'm grieving a person or an experience or an event that either has happened, hasn't happened, won't happen, or is here or isn't here anymore, grief comes in a lot of different ways that I've seen, and some can be really messy. I've noticed that with grief, there's a fine balance for self-compassion, patience, and just, like, the overwhelming heartache of the void is the way that I would describe it best through my experience. And for that, I'm powerless. I'm powerless to the experience that has happened, the noun. But I I have power within myself. I have the capability to reach out and to learn new ways to live, because there's a saying, is I can't remember what it was, but it's something about, like, if you were not a tree, like, move. Like, if you want to move. And that's basically like what I remember during those moments, that it's like, yeah, like, I actually can change what I can control here. And before, I never used to really, like, even have any awareness around any of that, or anything. And today it's one of my most important tools that I have in my toolkit. That being said, though, too, I had to learn how to take a look at myself and my part, and, like, get really honest with, like, what did I do to contribute to this? And, when I was learning, like, what I wanted out of my healing journey, I had made a decision. Some days are easier than others to stay committed to this, but I made a decision, like, I'm going to get out of this what I put into it. And that right there was a really big game changer for me, because it, like, applies to so many different aspects of my life. It applies to, oh my God, I'm sure you could think of something that maybe it applies to you as well. Like, let me know, because taking a look at my stuff, um, it was hard, but it was okay. And there are ways to do it that are, like, that are safe and that are controlled. And you know the healing stuff isn't something that I wanted to be held hostage by forever, if that makes sense. And, like, I wanted to set myself free from the things that other people have done to me. Yeah, I actually am a poet. This is my poetry book right here. It's about grief and death, actually, and loss. And it's about how light carries on. And it's actually for kids, about hard topics. This book in particular happens to be grief and loss. It's called When Addiction Wins. And you know it's all part of life. It's all part of life, and we can choose how to react. And I think that it's a really cool concept of, you know, having different outcomes of choices of people in, like, numbers, because this world has really been seeing the effects, I think, of some, whatever. Not even gonna get into it. I'll go in there. Anyways, thank you for listening to my little video today that I decided to make. And I hope that you got, at least something out of it. We touched on a couple different topics. And, please share with me too what helps you and what gets you out of bed in the morning and keeps you going, because, I need it. I need your advice too. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.